Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Namaste. So, I went through like some old posts that I shared in the past, and I came across the one that I shared a few years ago, and it's about a book called Many Lives, Many Masters. This is a book that I read multiple times, but the first time was in New Zealand. That's when I began to be interested in reincarnations, past lives, and everything else related, near-death experiences, and so on. The book is really interesting. It talks about, it's based on on a true story, and is about this psychiatrist that at the time worked, I think, for a New York university, and it literally tells his own story with a patient that he tried to help him, that had many phobias and fears, that trying with traditional methods didn't work, and so he then tried this new technique that he was studying, and that was hypnosis. The thing is that, as he tells in the book, is something deeper, something more meaningful came along when he started this hypnosis treatment, because as the woman, the patient, will go under hypnosis, she will start apparently to recall past lives, and in every past life that she would bring up, they would be connected a fear and phobia that she had in the present moment, in that current lifetime. So to shows to people that how past it's connected, like our past lives are basically making what we are now, so the strain and the weakness. So he reached a point that eventually she started to not just to remember her past lives, but she started to channel even other entity that through her would talk to him, entities that he called masters. That's the title of the book, Many Masters, Many Lives. So the book had a massive impact in the way I started to see life, and obviously already there was many things that took me to that direction. So obviously that book at that point just added something more to was what was already there in my life. So that took me to start to talk to people about those like about past lives, and to talk to doctors and nurses, and something that at that point was only something that I read on the internet. I started eventually to meet people that actually had past lives or the near-death experiences, and remember past lives, and I met doctors that had patients that died and came back and told them about being in other place or past lives and so on, to the point that I got interested to try it myself. So I went at the time, at that point I was in London, and I went to see this guy. His name is Arun Ayula, and he's a psychic based in London. And I would say, even if it wasn't really clear, but there was all the day I went to see him, all was connected to someone, and later on to someone else that made me think and made me realize that they are all part of my past lives. And in this video, I want to just briefly talk about my experience, but then I want to talk more about the experience of the daughter of a friend, just to connect the dots with the book and about past lives and so on, if they are true, if it's true, and we don't know. We don't know. We don't even know why we are actually here. But in my case, I went to see the guy, and we started the session. And even like if I think that I was not, I didn't feel like that I was hypnotized, but I cannot deny that into my mind came thoughts and images that were apparently had nothing to do what was going on that day. But already the day was peculiar, because when I went to see him in New Malden, it was the only day since I lived in London that there was such a thick fog, unreal, a surreal fog. And New Malden is the Korean town in London, and at the time I had a strong connection with someone from Korea, and the images that came inside my head was about like a time in the Middle Age, and in the images there was someone that I was actually hitting with a belt. That was the images I was having. And that was inside a building that resembled one of those middle-aged buildings. And then there was another image of a girl dancing. And consequently, there was next to this image of this girl dancing in a field that I knew was meadows. And at that point, I never actually, heard that word. Obviously now I know what is meadows. And the girl dancing next to it was connected to this Korean girl that is a ballerina. And that happened in New Malden. So it was already interested, but then something, eventually connected a bit more the dots. And that was when I moved to Edinburgh in Scotland, where one day walking in my day off, walking by the canal and listening to the soundtrack of a movie that called Cloud Atlas, that again it's about past lives and how the past, the present, the future is so connected. And I remember to strongly thinking about this girl, this Korean girl. And at some point, walking, I seen a building. And the building drew my attention. And inside my head, this thought that it probably wasn't my something or someone put it there inside my head. Because the thought came out of nowhere and with apparently no reason. I saw the building, and I knew that the building was the building I lived, where in that past life session in London with a Eula years earlier, I was hitting this person with the belt, and to know there was a building from the Middle Age. Soon after, after that, I keep walking, thinking about that, and now I don't remember if I got a message after or just before I saw the building, but it was from the Korean girl that actually I wasn't been like in touch, and that actually messaged her, but days earlier, and she just decided to reply that day on that walk. And when I saw the building, so like obviously for me it was like all connected. And I remember very well that same day I passed this swan, and when I see swan, I always connect them to this Korean girl. I decided to take a picture, and after looking at it, and then after I look at the picture, and the swan was like glowing. It was like energy. And I remember I messaged a friend. She's a psychic, and she replied me straight away saying that she was in need of a sign, and she wanted the sign to be a swan. So my message about explanation about what's happened with the swan was actually when she was actually asking for a message of that in the form of a swan. So all the connection, we're all connected, and this girl, this psychic friend, it's a girl that when I met years ago in London and became friends, every time, since the first time she came in the shop, she was a customer, I always connected her look and beauty to this Korean girl. So again, all the connection. And there was another woman that somehow seems all connected with this sort of like soul group. This is a woman that I'm together now, and at the time came to visit me in Edinburgh. This is after the episode of the swan and the building. She came to visit me in Edinburgh, and I took her to this town outside Edinburgh. It's an old medieval town, and on our way back by train to Edinburgh, out of blue, she tells me, "Oh, look at that building, how beautiful it is." Amongst the many buildings, which was the building, was exactly the building that I said felt connected to this past life in the Middle Age.